Well, we're live Sunday Super Show Off Show. Welcome in, guys. It seems like it's been forever since I've seen you guys. I took off last month from the live show that I like to basically do a monthly roundup of stuff that I either buy new on Wednesdays or stuff that I've quested out at different shows or my local cons and local stores. But I did take a break last month, so it feels good to get back to it. I'm happy you guys are joining me. Chime in the chat, say hello. But yeah, we have a pretty cool show today. I'm gonna get some business out of the way right before I bring our guest in. Please smash that button, like, subscribe, comment. Make sure you hit the bell icon so you know when I have a new video that I post. I try to post one a week. I'm pretty good. I've been pretty good about that. And then you can also check me out on Instagram. I usually do like a themed daily post there, shorts, that kind of thing, show off some fun books. But yeah, and feel free to reach out to me at SideQuestComicsMail@gmail.com. Like I said, I have a exciting show to get back to it. So I was hoping that all my guests tonight would come on tonight because I kind of have a side theme on this. This is all my friends of the North that are coming on today. And some of these guys I've met in different streams, whether it's Council of X or I've met them through other friends in the comic community, like Hall Yeah Comics and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and I'm going to bring guests on and then we'll check in with the chat because you guys are already going. But let's start off with Uncanny Derek. I'm going to bring Uncanny Derek to the stage. Welcome in, Derek.
Hello, Eric. Thank you for having me. This is awesome.
All right. Awesome. And then next up, I have another good buddy. He puts out so many videos. I can't keep up with them. And that's Matt from Matt Likes Comics.
Hi,
what's up, Matt? Super excited that you were able to make it, Matt.
Appreciate it. I wasn't sure until the last minute. Well, I should say until like a day ago, but I'm glad I was able to do it.
Right? Life always gets in the way of having fun.
It's amazing. I've basically spent my weekend. I got to a comic store, but basically the last 4 days has been chauffeuring kids.
Oh yeah, that's why mine are out of the house now. Get out of here. My time.
Mine aren't quite that old enough yet, so.
All right, and our last guest, he's actually been on here before, and I got to know him through his love of X-Men, as well as I love X-Men, and that's Ryan the Colossus.
Hey there, hi there, ho there, Americans and Canadians.
Oh my God, I saw your little thumbnail with that out. I'm like, oh my God, you broke out the
I have it right here hanging.
The cousin hat. Cousin Colossus. What's going on, Ryan? You're a two-time guest on the show, so you get 2 dings.
Well, thank you for the dings, and thank you for having me once again. Pleasure to be here.
I'm excited to get back into the live show. Sometimes people don't like live shows because, and I've experienced this, you never know what's going to happen. I've had shows where my computer was not working up until like 2 minutes before the show was supposed to go live. And all of a sudden it just goes, starts working. Technology.
Well, you saw what happened to me on Friday.
Yeah, you had to. So you got booted off, right? And then you had to restart your
My internet crapped out for like 5, almost 10 minutes. And
we just kept going with the show.
That's the one you had.
That's
Nate
the great
on,
thing.
right?
Sorry?
That was the show you had Nate and Lettuce on, eh?
Yeah, on Friday of the Heroes Con. But that's the great thing about StreamYard is that it keeps the show running even if the host gets booted. So it was great because I had 9 other guys in the show. So like it's you guys didn't even miss me.
Like,
I could have
people just jumping in and taking over type of thing.
I could have sat back and watched. Really, like I didn't even have to come back.
That happened to me on Tuesday as well. I had Alan and Steven on for my 1-year show there, and I suddenly disappeared because there was a thunderstorm going on, and all of a sudden our internet died for about 6 minutes or so. So
that's actually the first time it's ever happened to me. I have pretty reliable internet, but yeah,
I always hardwire. more just because I don't trust, Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and sending, stuff through the air. I just don't trust it. I mean, I have an old house, so there's things in between my wall that I know block signals, like
Mhm.
basement sometimes, and I don't get text messages until I come upstairs, and all of a sudden my phone just blows up.
It's just lead paint everywhere.
Lick those walls.
Asbestos.
Let's go ahead and check in with the chat because we got a lot of guys in the chat, guys and gals. Let me see. I'm going to look. We have. See, my phone's not updating to see how many we have. Well, we have a lot, and my good buddy Dope is first. He's first.
Hi, Dope.
And then we got Bridazzle.
Hi, Bridazzle.
That right? Welcome in. And then, yeah, of course, I had to chime in and say, Dope, you get the gold star. And then, who's this guy? Third. You had to be. Technically, you were first. So.
Yeah.
Yes, don't count.
Nobody else can do that.
That don't count. See, we got K Munin coming in. Good evening.
Hi,
Good
Chris.
evening. I need to give him a blue wrench. There's a lot of people I know that come in here, and I got to give them blue wrenches one of these days. We got
gave
Matt.
2 people a blue wrench once, and I've never given any out ever since because I don't remember how to do it.
Yeah, I think I figured out how to do it, and I think it's because of you, Matt, because you struggled with it too, and you kind of were talking about it one day, and I was like, oh yeah, okay. But welcome in, Matt.
I did, but I got it fixed.
We got Brian LCS in. Good evening. Going to see him pretty soon. We got my buddy Rich, Big Nasty Comics. Hello, all the comic people. And look at that. Matt's wearing the banner. I had to show my allegiance with the Bubs. So let's see who else did I get. Everybody, a lot of people saying hello, which is great. That's the one thing I love about our community. Sometimes they just have their own things going on in the chat, and we're just babbling.
Awesome, I love that.
Coach is here. Howdy.
Hi, Coach.
Am I catching up yet? We got Justin Birch Letters. Welcome in, Justin. We actually interviewed Justin on Nate's channel a couple Tuesdays ago. He's a professional letterer, so he's joining the fold of all us content creators, and I love it.
Great.
I love it.
I'll just spoiler alert for anybody who watches my channel. I know, and Derek and Eric. That's a new member of the Council of X.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he sent me a message after.
There's
he's
a
like,
great
"What do you
story,
need?"
but I'm saving it. I'm saving it for post Terrificon on.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I started
Cool.
talking to him. He wants to learn how to play Magic the Gathering, so I'm gonna be bringing some decks, and hopefully we'll be playing some Magic. It's been a while since my wife table flipped, but.
Did you ever play the Magic the Gathering game for the PlayStation 1? It was trash.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that is. I never played it, but I've seen it, and
Anyway.
We got K-pop saying what's up. Thank you for joining. Let's see. Oh, there's one I missed. Richard. He's got a blue wrench. So
As always.
Yep. And then let's see. Did I get everybody? I think I got. Nope. There's one. Pam, welcome in. Been a while since I've seen in a live stream, so I'm happy that you can make it. Wow, it just keeps going and going, and here we go. Matt's showing big nasty colors. Yes, he is. Nate, welcome in. And I will try to keep track of this, you guys. And actually, Ryan, we were talking about this. Let's try this out because you said you saw this too. I'm going to turn it on. I don't know what's going to do. So I think when somebody types something, it's going to pop up on our stream. We'll see.
It is.
I don't
It's
see
kind
it.
of like a little box.
Oh, there it is. I see it.
Yeah, it's great.
It's right by Matt's chest. Boop, there it goes.
Oh, yeah.
So now,
I think it goes up maybe like 5 or 6.
yeah, that's one of those things. It's one of the things that
we'll see how it goes. If it gets too annoying, I'll just turn it off, I guess, right? All right. So let's jump into. I introduced you guys. I always like to find out more about you guys if I don't know. And there's actually probably a lot of people out there that don't know you guys. So it's a way to kind of spotlight you guys. I am going to start with Derek. And Derek, give us an origin story, a little bit how you got into comic books, what was the catalyst for you, and throw out a favorite character because people want to know.
Okay, well, I'll just throw out the favorite character first so you guys can take all the time to digest why I may have chosen this favorite character.
Okay.
It's Angel or Archangel, Warren Worthington III. So
Okay.
sit with that for a little bit. We'll get back to that. And just inhale it for a moment.
With wings.
I was sick from the Council of X like a month ago, and I'm still have a little bit of a cough. So if I mute myself and go into coughing fit, I'm trying not to cough right now. This sickness has been with me since March. This is annoying. So hang in there. What got me in the comics? It was the X-Men cartoon show, really. That was, I'm a child of the 80s. And so getting that cartoon show was pretty cool. And then I remember being at a 7-Eleven and there was a copy of X-Men number 36. And on the cover was Sync and Sabretooth. And I didn't know who Sync was. I mean, nobody did because it was his first appearance. But I recognized Sabretooth. And I picked up the book and I had no idea what was going on in it. I recognized Sabretooth, and then Jubilee was in there. And that was it. It was about Banshee and the White Queen and Sync, and the Phalanx were in it too, but that wasn't in the cartoon show yet. But I had an X-Men book, and I thought the splash page at the very end, it said Sabretooth had escaped, and I thought it was a really cool cliffhanger. But I continued watching the show and getting to some of the books from there on out. But then I realized I was still in grade school when that, I don't know when in grade school, but I was still in grade school when that was a thing. But then in high school, I started picking up, or just before high school, when was 2001? Yeah, I was in high school. I started picking up.
Make us all feel old.
Well, because you guys are old. Right? I'm 39, I think.
Oh, you're just a child.
I think.
I really don't care.
You do start to lose track.
Yeah, I don't care how old I am. But I picked up the Poptopia run, or just started picking up Uncanny X-Men at issue 394, which was coincidentally the same time Joe Casey started writing it. So it was new writer right off the bat, so it started a storyline for me. And I just happened to continue reading for the next 10-ish issues. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. And it was very chamber-focused.
Okay, that's cool.
Issues. And I kind of related a little bit to Chamber because I felt like an outcast in my own life, and I felt like there was just a relation to the Chamber there. And from there on out, I was like, well, these X-Men, there's something to these guys. I'm glad I found out who they are. And then I found out there's a lot more in the past, and then it just kind of went off from there. So
okay. So do you like, speaking of Chamber, do you kind of like that they're bringing him back in the comics right now? Have you been reading? It's Weapon X-Men. He's part of that book and that team.
So no, and so and the reason for that, I haven't read it. I don't know what they're doing with Chamber.
Okay.
I can't explain it without going too deep into detail and sounding like I hate comic books, but which is totally not true. But I got out of comics because of Marvel editorial during the Fear Itself, the AVX, and Schism. The editorial, in my opinion, just dropped the ball entirely on everything X-Men, and I couldn't keep up with all the crossovers, so I was like, no, I'm done. So I missed all of Krakoa. I didn't read any of that. Okay. And I just started picking up X-Men again, just recently, and it's partly because I have a channel now to do so, to at least still have a conversation with people. But X Factor and Uncanny were the only books I was picking up because everybody, we all know how many freaking books they released at that time, and I was like, I'm not doing that again, because I used to pick up when Dark Reign came out, for example. There was the X-Men Messiah Complex, or the Second Coming crossover was happening, and all with Dark Reign, and so I was getting, along with the indie books, 30 Marvel books a week, because I was grabbing every single crossover that to tell the whole story, and I was like, no, I'm done. This is stupid. So I purposely getting back on the comics. I was setting myself limits. I'm going to pick up Uncanny. I was going to pick up X Factor. I cancel X Factor, and I'm still wavering on Uncanny. But I can't keep doing this, guys.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track of all the side series, the mini series, and crossovers and stuff like that. So yeah, I can relate. I've pulled back too because it's like I'm seeing shades of what they did already. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna kind of pick and choose, especially with prices going up too. I'm gonna stick to the main titles, and that's it. Like if there's a big crossover going through all the titles, the ones that I'm not getting,
Yeah,
I can live without it, I guess.
And convert those dollars into Canadian dollars. That's not a cheap comic book.
Yeah, yeah. So
No.
you said Angel. Exactly why? Or I should say Archangel, which I can understand. He was cool when they came up, when they, 2.0'd Angel.
It is it is Angel himself. And Archangel just happens to be obviously the cooler version. But I've always appreciated the underdog, and I feel Angel is an underdog. But I also always have appreciated how much Angel is the background character that is kind of the supporting role of the X-Men. Like financially, he's supporting. And if you read the early X Factor, the Louise Simonson stuff, obviously there's a lot of soap opera drama involved with all of that. But he was the X-Man those original 5 could rely on for not just financial backing, but as a friend. And in the Joe Casey saga, Angel was when I got into X-Men, he was one of the guys. He was the leader of the team. Like it was Wolverine, Nightcrawler, Angel, and I think Iceman. Maybe and Iceman. So it was the 4 of them, but Angel was the one running the show.
Yeah.
And so I kind of immediately was glued to Angel being this leadership role. And even though he just flies, he doesn't have the coolest of powers. I mean, he can heal too now, but it just he has a lot of there's a lot of character development that still has to come from him, and I'm waiting for the right author to just do him justice. Like the Archangel stuff has been done to death. And anyway, I'm going off topic, but it's Angel because he's a good guy.
All right. So I'm going to jump over to Matt. So Matt, I know you're primarily a DC guy, but this question can still apply to you. Like what got you into comic books? And I think I know who your favorite superhero character is.
If anybody has seen my channel, it's no secret that Supergirl is number 1. Like it's not like it's not even a little thing. I mean, after all, and Superman as well, because after all, I do host a Sunday Superman show. So, but I got into comics when I was 5 years old, when my dad pulled out my uncle's old Silver Age DC collection.
Wow.
And that is why I'm into DC more, because I was into this collection was full of Superman stories, Legion stories, there was Action Comics. So I read Supergirl, there was Batman, Flash, Justice League, all the stuff
right off the bat.
Right off the bat. And so you got other than Spider-Man, these were mostly characters I was already familiar with just from going to the toy store and all that other stuff. So so there was no Spider-Man or X-Men there, so I never got into that off the bat. But I like Supergirl so much that my mother's told me that when I was 6, I asked if she could be our babysitter. So that says right there how much
I don't think I would mind Helen Slater coming over to babysit me.
Yes. Oh God, the 1984 movie. But basically, it's a pretty simple answer. It's just I got into my uncle's comics later when I got older and a little more read, because I always did find Marvel comics were wordy compared to DC.
Yeah.
So once I got a bit more of a vocabulary and stuff, I started reading Marvel comics.
Okay.
And so forth. And today I'll read anything you put in front of me.
Yeah, I think as I get older, I'm starting to appreciate just the writing and art in general. I'm not so, waving the banner constantly of Marvel. I've been dipping into DC. Growing up, I read some DC, but it never stuck with me. Like I liked Green Lantern, I liked Superman, but I didn't read them long. The one that I read for a while was Captain Atom, but then they ended the series. You know, it wasn't a very long series, and then after that, it's like, okay, what do I do now? And by that time, we're in the '90s, and pretty much everything was pretty bad. So,
yeah, well, you know, the biggest thing for Marvel for me, even today, is trying to keep track of all the different volumes.
yeah, I
You can
don't
do
like
that.
when,
More power to you.
I mean, they're doing it worse, you know, worse and worse as it goes. I hate when, I understand you change a creative, you know, people on the book, but why do you have to change the volume? Why do you, I've asked the store owners, I'm like, do they think
Yeah,
that
because
people are
people
just
fall
dumb and can't follow it? No, it's like Derek said, it's money. People will buy a number one more often than not because they think it's a good starting point. Sometimes it's not really, because they'll start talking about stuff and you're like, okay, I feel like I missed something.
You know, DC's doing it again with Batman after Hush is done. Batman #1 again. Like, come on, there's no need.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, Ryan, I think everybody that watches your channel knows who your favorite character is, and we kind of have heard your origin story. So I'm doing something different with you. I mean, if you want to tell your origin story, that's fine.
No, I've told it many times.
But I wanted to ask you, where do you see yourself, your collection, you in the hobby of comics in 5 years, 10 years, 20? I mean, are you still going to be hammering out videos, you think, or are you going to have everything that you could want in your collection? Are you going to start collecting, I don't know, maybe pre-code or, you know, something else?
Well, if I could see into the future, I'd be a rich man.
Yeah, that's true.
But if I had to guess, I mean, like, I'm a Marvel head. And I think, you know, I'm just gonna keep down that road. There are DC characters that intrigue me. I've mentioned it here and there that I've always had kind of an affinity to Green Lantern, and
Okay.
And I mean, everybody loves Batman. I mean, Batman's cool. Those two have always been kind of cool to me, but there's just like, I'm just such a Marvel guy that, like, and there's so much Marvel that, because I haven't read since I was a kid, you know, so there's just so much.
It's only been a couple of years, right?
So I mean, one day maybe, but like, I'm still just collecting keys, and I like runs. I do like collecting runs, but it's a space thing too. So
yeah,
I gotta kind of like watch it with that stuff. I'm just like ooh, shiny, and I buy stuff. So who knows where my collecting's gonna go. I'm like, I got statues going, I got original art going. You know, like
that's right. You've been
poor
starting
and destitute, maybe poor and destitute, selling my my collection to feed myself, because
I like how you say, like, if you could see into the future, you'd be a rich man, but not in this hobby. You're not.
No, you just find a different thing to collect, right?
Yeah.
I just mean in general. I mean in general, Derek. If I could tell people's futures, I could make a killing. But yeah, it's hard to say. But like in the near future, and then you did say, will I be making videos? That's a tough one to ask. I mean, I hope
when it's
so.
Not fun, right?
I mean, speaking of videos, like, I haven't put out a video in like 2 months. But I have had live streams, and it's I've just taken a little bit of a hiatus. I haven't been super motivated to make videos lately. And it's also kind of coincides because I've been on a little bit of a tightening the belt financially and not buying books too much. In kind of like, after I bought that original art piece early in the year, January or whatever, I basically had to really like clamp it down till now, and I just started buying a few things now. So
okay,
and now I'm going Heroes. So
for the show,
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, it'll come out. The video's gonna, all that stuff. They're coming.
All right, cool. Man, I'm having a hard time keeping up with you guys in the chat. That's why I kind of like this little feature here, because I can pop it up there and look at it a little bit easier. But All right, so let's see. Do you guys want to play a game? Want to go into some of the fun stuff that I love doing? It's one of the things I like doing in this, content creator world is playing games. Now, I'm gonna turn this off for a little bit though, because I'm sitting weird on my chair. We are not gonna do icons today, unless you guys really want to. But I tested a new game the last live stream. I don't know if anybody remembers. Well, I polished it a little bit more, and because I planned on just doing this one, I bloated it a little bit more. So last time we did 5 picks. Well, let me do something before I get into explaining what we're doing. Let me introduce it with this little thing.
Side Quest Comics presents this or that.
Yeah, the wife loves me. She loves me so much.
That was good.
So yeah, we are gonna play Side Quest Comics this or that. Now, if you guys seen it last time when I was test running it, I am gonna present my panel of guests some books, and we're gonna pick one over the other. Kind of open conversation about why are you picking this one over the other one. And the thing I like about this is that the chat can totally join in. They can chime in. They can try to, sway us, our votes and stuff, and like that. So it was a game I came up with that can be more interactive for everybody watching. So you're not just watching us talk about this stuff. You can participate. So yeah, I'm going to present 2 books. They're kind of similar in a way, whether they could be complete opposites though too. So you don't kind of really know. And yeah, we'll just kind of review them, why they're our favorites. Have you never read it? Is that why maybe you want to pick that one? Is it a character, writer, artist, that kind of thing? So let me get my pile. I got it a little far from me here. Okay. Ugh. So I'll show you guys the pile. Here's the pile.
As always.
So we'll see how I may make some cuts. We'll see how long this goes. I need to switch some stuff here, and let's do that. And you know what? We can't see Derek anymore. So let's do that.
Oh,
Very nice.
You got it all down.
Click, 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 click. Yeah. It comes from those old days of radio DJing when you had those old control boards where every little thing was a switch or a knob that you had to constantly, you felt like you're a nuclear, engineer at the plant or something. All right. There we go. So we are going to go with our first round, and I am going to pop these up. Oh, I'm cheating already this first round, I just realized. So let me make some room for myself here. I don't want to spill a drink. All right, so first up, I'm going to pop up one of my 90s, late 80s, 90s favorites, and it's this one. New Warriors, #1. So you have kind of all these young superheroes. Some of them had their own books, like Speedball had a very short-lived book. And then, of course, Namor's cousin right there. I love this book. I love the art. I didn't know who any of these characters were, so there was like no investment in getting this book. So very cool book. And then the other side, let me switch here, is going to be this one. So we got the new Teen Titans, generally kind of about the same age. They're about the same type of team. They're young superheroes battling more than just super villains. They're kind of coming of age and, all that stuff that comes with that. So here's our first 2 this or that picks. What do you guys think? I know sometimes you may pick Marvel because you're a Marvel guy, but then again, you may never have been exposed to this. So
I'm going with this.
I'll go with that.
I'm going to say Teen Titans. Although I was initially leaning New Warriors because of Speedball when he turns the penance and like becomes that that whole
Nova, Kid Nova, but
Yeah, but yeah, I'd say Teen Titans, and just because the team is more developed than New Warriors, and obviously they have a better run than New Warriors.
Well, sitting here now, I would pick New Warriors 1 because I have read the first issue of New Teen Titans many, many times.
Okay.
And Perez and Wolfman together, wow. You just you can't beat it. But I've read some New Warriors, but not this particular issue, and I will always pick a new book over an old book just because I want to be able to say I've read as much as I can.
Okay, very good. I like that answer, Matt. That's very good. I do that a lot too. Instead of reading the same old, you're expanding your horizons a little bit. Okay.
For me, I'm honestly torn, which is surprising because I am the Marvel guy, but I guess I'd probably go New Warriors. I know nothing about New Warriors. To be honest, I could probably recognize more characters on the Teen Titans than I can on the New Warriors. But
okay,
I'd go with New Warriors just to be consistent.
It's got Namor's cousin, right? That'd be the one character you probably know right there a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? That was a draw for me because at that time I'm going with New Warriors because it is nostalgia for me. That was because of Namor. That was my gateway to this. I knew the character because that, and of course I knew Firestar from the X-Men. So some of the storylines were very similar to early X-Men. So that's why it kind of drew me in. But it's a hard pick because I was never really exposed to this stuff. I knew of it. I remember growing up around it, but just never saw it that much. So, yeah, that was a fun one. So
did I lose that round? Is that how this goes?
No, it's just no winning or losing. Okay. It's we're all winning because it's new exposure and stuff.
Conversation starter.
Yeah,
the friends we made along the way.
There you go.
Exactly.
So let me see. I'm throwing up some people that they're saying. I see a lot of Teen Titans.
Yeah, there seems to be more Teen Titans than.
I would have put my money on Teen Titans.
Yeah,
I didn't realize George Perez did the work on that book. Like that also just solidifies the deal too.
So yeah, Perez, that was it was one of the things that made George Perez very popular at DC. He did only small sporadic work for the company before that, and then he hit it big with this one. And Marv Wolfman, of course, has been around for years and years.
Yeah.
So to kind of hitch off of that one, because I couldn't resist it, we got New Warriors. So we're talking like late 90s, early 2000s.
That's 90s book? Are you sure?
I don't know. I don't know what this is. I saw it's New Warriors. I'm like, oh, the logo looks the same. I see Nova. I see Speedball. I was like, okay, whatever. And then we got this Teen Titans. So kind of the same. I found them both in a dollar bin. So
no.
Well, the Teen Titans with that incarnation of it was not as good as the first one.
Yeah,
okay,
we had this. I was like, ooh. And this one, I think Jubilee actually ends up on this team at some point.
So
late in the run.
having not read either of them, because I've tended to avoid that Teen Titans one, unless that's the only thing I've got to read. I would give the New Warriors a try.
Oh, okay, interesting. Matt, you're surprising me. I would not expect these from you, but I understand why, because it's something new. Very cool. Derek, Ryan, any?
Well, I was gonna go with the New Warriors again until you mentioned Jubilee. So I'm going with Teen Titans.
Yikes!
I did not do that on purpose. I swear.
No. It's more just I'm playing off my
your brand.
What's the word? My apathy towards Jubilee as a character. Yeah.
Misogyny.
Hey, I like Storm. I like G Gray. I just don't like Jubilee.
We got still Teen Titans from K Munin. Christopher saying # neither.
And K Munin is a Marvel guy. but he really likes Nightwing and the Teen Titans.
Okay.
So like that's his DC.
Richard likes Teen Titans again. Teen Titans again from Kate. K-pop's the Titans. A lot of Titans on this one, which I kind of figured that the New Warriors were. Yeah, these were, like I said, dollar bin books. So
I like the ones that had Firestar.
Okay, so the first run, volume one.
I bought a couple of those actually in a dollar bin not too long ago, and mostly because she was on the cover.
And I have to go with New Warriors on that one too, because out of the two covers, the New Warriors one actually seemed exciting. The Teen Titans one just was like a blah cover. Like
it's a team shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's like this person and this person are in, and this person's in, and this person's in. Like,
get the whole lineup.
And then you got Starfire and Cyborg in the background.
All right, so another one. Next one. Let's go to the next one. This one's a little bit of a twist. So we have the Demon. So this is volume 3, I believe. So this is 80s, 90s. This was a run I was familiar with. They kind of got a little bit of tongue-in-cheek with the writing. You know, there was a lot of comedy I remember from this one. Artwork was fantastic. So we got this one or that. Original Demon. I think this one might be a little easy, but I wanted to throw same character, different era.
Tough.
Kirby all day.
So
Kirby
I like
all
the
day.
composition. I like the composition of the new Demon book better, just in terms of the angle and like it's very like stereotypical, haha, over the depth. Like, but I gotta go with the OG one. Like
OG
Kirby.
I do love the new cover.
Can I mix the Kirby art with the writing of the second
Here we
one?
go. Just mash them together.
Well, I mean, like Kirby is a great artist and a great concept person, but in actual practice, sometimes he comes across as a little lacking in the storytelling in terms of the details of the writing.
Did
And
he
in the
write
case of
that?
the Demon, yes, he did write the first Demon one. The Demon, the second one, I haven't read it, but I've heard wonderful things about it in terms of the writing, and the art is pretty good. So in this case, having read Demon 1 Kirby, I would read the other one.
Okay.
Because again, I haven't read it.
Matt, do you have a Demon one?
No, but I had a collection back in the day of the first 6 issues reprinted, so I did see them.
Yeah, this original, I got this from Hagen a couple months ago. He had a whatnot sale, and it was in his buy it now, and I was like, you know what? I keep putting that off, This was the last one I needed for the whole run. It's not a very long run, so I
think it's only 14 issues.
Something like that, yeah.
Hayden from Next Gen?
Hayden.
Oh, okay, cool.
I might have said Hagen. I do that a lot.
Yeah,
with those
you did, but totally understandable.
I say everybody's saying a lot of Kirby, a lot of OG.
Well, the cool thing that Kirby did do was he was the one that decided to make him a rhymer. That is one of the coolest things, because that's another thing that puts a little cap on the writing. When the Demon speaks, he has to speak in rhyme.
Yeah, that was something I remember watching some of the animated. It was weird. It was different to read it and then actually hear it in some of the animated shows and movies.
Yeah.
I always thought he was an interesting character, though. I like the background of, the
Demon is one of the, I would say, probably top 2 Kirby characters.
Yeah.
With Darkseid.
Yeah.
At DC. He talks in imperfect rhymes.
Okay, so we're going. I think everybody's, even the chat, Kirby in that one.
Yeah.
All right, so this one's going to be a 3-parter, guys. I'm going to throw up this or that, but after we figure out which one of this one or that one.
That Marvel Fanfare is one of my birthday books. B, he's smoking a cigar. It's one of my favorite covers.
Yeah.
I'd go with that one. Yeah.
Is Marvel Fanfare an actual comic book?
Yeah, it was a lot of side stories, original stories that kind of tied into other ones. They always had pull-out posters, which was kind of cool.
In that case, one of my favorite Marvel characters is the thing, I would read the Marvel fair.
Okay.
Yeah, fanfare for me.
Fanfare? All right.
It's just a really neat idea for a cover too. To have
Yeah.
Great.
the characters sign it for.
Sign it to Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna see what people are saying.
I will say though, the Marvel Comics Presents, that's a pretty cool cover.
Yeah, and I like that.
I like that one also has like a sister cover where the roles reverse and Wolverine's kind of like on top of.
The other side's like Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider and Wolverine were featured a lot in Marvel Comics Presents. Once Marvel figured out they were making a lot of money just putting them in it. Kay Munin likes the Wolverine cover. Sam Keith, sometimes that's to draw the artist.
Yep.
Marvel fanfare. A lot of fanfare.
I don't even really know what Wolverine's holding though. Is that a block? Is it like it looks like
100? It's 100. It's the big 100 in rock.
Kind of like that old with the Hulk annual where he's holding up the logo.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So a lot of Thing fans. Here's a Presents. Look at there it goes. Chonko likes the Presents. All right, so we're going with
my problem with Marvel Comics Presents is that it came out the same time that Action Comics went weekly and had a bunch of smaller features than Superman, and that Action Comics weekly run was terrible. And my problem was in my brain, I associate that Marvel Comics Presents run with the Action Comics and just think it's not that great.
All right, so we have Marvel Fanfare was the winner of that. So it's staying in the ring, and it's going against DC Comics Presents.
I mean, great cover on the DC, I will say, but I still got to go. Like, I just love that book.
Still got to go with
I will go with DC Comics Presents because even though I haven't read the Marvel Fanfare, I have read that one. I have the entire run, and that's one of my favorites.
It's a fun run. It's a lot of these like side stories I love because they don't matter to like continuity usually. They're just kind of fun stuff.
Well, there was 97 books plus 3 annuals, and it took me 4 years to complete it once I decided to put it on my head. And 3 of the books are over $100. So it took a little bit of capital to get. The He-Man book, the first appearance of He-Man in comics is number 47.
Yeah.
That one cost me almost $200 American. So that was hard to get. Wasn't the last book of the series of the run that I got, but it was close to because it was hard to get. I got 26, no problem. That's the first appearance of the new Teen Titans, but the 47 was hard to get. The Shazam ones were surprisingly hard to get too. They're actually quite popular.
So I'm seeing a lot of DC, but then I'm also still seeing a lot of people sticking with the Thing. I don't know how to call this one exactly, but it's just for fun, right? All right, we're gonna switch.
It looks heavier on DC, I think. If you're looking for a winner,
that's what it looks like, and I mean it's those characters too. Sometimes you're drawn to it because of the character.
One of those DC Comics Presents, not that Shazam, but one of the other ones, is only the 3rd ever appearance of Black Adam.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, there's a lot of big books then in there that you gotta kind of watch out for. So we're gonna go a little bit to the kids side here. This is very nostalgia for me. Probably will be for other people. So I am gonna throw up by Charlton this all new Popeye the Sailor Man, or that. Have no fear, Underdog is here. See, he likes talking in rhyme too.
Popeye, hands down.
2 cartoons I grew up watching constantly.
Yak. I'm a Popeye guy.
I will go with Popeye because the Underdog cartoon wasn't a favorite of mine, and I like Popeye much more.
Okay, Derek.
Popeye easy, yeah.
Popeye easy. Okay. So let's see. We got. I see. Kate likes Underdog. I think I got a box set of Underdog. It's that bad. Underdog. Underdog. Oh man, lots of underdog in the chat, Christopher.
That underdog though looks like it's near the end of the run if it's a Whitman.
Yeah, I think it is.
Which makes it harder to get. It would have been one of the ones that's in the bags.
Richard said Popeye sucks. I had to eat so many veggies because of him.
What's wrong with spinach, guys? Come on.
And then like Johnny brought up, Robin Williams was or the great underdogs. Oh, okay. Tough. Yeah. What pick one, Johnny? I mean, yeah, Robin Williams, Popeye. It's a hard one.
My grandmother had a VHS tape of Popeye at her house, and she didn't have a lot of great stuff to watch, and we'd throw that on, and there was just this one Popeye cartoon that I watched every time I went over, and I remember it. I remember the songs, and so that's just nostalgia for me.
Yeah. It looks like more people than not are going with the Popeye, I think.
Popeye also has a better supporting cast. I find the underdog people not so.
Well, and I always find it funny. Underdog got pulled off basically because he was popping a pill to get, superpowers. So I think eventually it's like, yeah, that's not a good thing for kids.
Sinbad the Sailor Man, come on.
He was eating something that was good for you. All right. Keeping with some kitty theme. There it goes. So this is one I just posted up the other day on Instagram. And really the only reason I got this is because my little brother absolutely was obsessed with this show in the 90s. So we got the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It's probably going to be the only one I ever buy because this is their first appearance in comics. Versus something that I was obsessed with when I was a kid, and that's Voltron, Defender of the Universe.
Voltron.
I gotta go with Power Rangers. That's my my childhood. Yeah.
Okay.
See, the thing about the Power Rangers was that I was already in my 20s when it came out, so I really wasn't watching that kind of TV at the time. I was working.
A lot of it was for me too. Is that I was a little old for it. This was my at that age group. Was that the cartoon G-Force? I think
G-Force. I love G-Force.
Yeah, it was all kind of the same. That early anime that came over from Japan in the 80s. It's very similar, but we loved it all.
It's funny, I never had Voltron in my life, at all. Transformers, but not Voltron. I don't know why. It never
Voltron really wasn't on in Canada.
That must be it. I don't know. I honestly,
unless you had cable.
We had G-Force. We had G-Force on Global. So
sure.
Wow, I saw that a lot, but Transformers was a Saturday morning cartoon, and I think Voltron was a Saturday morning cartoon. Where Battle of the Planets for a while was on,
when daily. I was a kid, I think G.I. Joe was on Sundays. I could be wrong. I don't know.
No, G.I. Joe and Transformers both had a revival too in the early 90s. Yeah. G2. So they were on.
And I remember watching the G.I. Joe one because it was G.I. Joe. That was one of my favorite cartoons.
Man, there's so many Voltrons up there. There's K-Munion's a Ranger.
Now, quick question: how many guys out there had a crush on Pink Ranger?
I actually lived. So when I was coming up in my early professional career, I had a short stint where I lived in the Beaches neighborhood of Toronto, and at the time, I think she lived there because I saw her once or twice, just walking around the neighborhood.
She was at the convention today.
Oh
yes,
yeah,
I knew that she was going to be in Niagara Falls. She was in Montreal a couple of years ago, but I didn't get there.
All right, so we're going with Voltron, I think here.
I think the Yellow Ranger died. The actor.
Yeah, she has in an accident. She was very young too. All right,
and I think didn't Blue Ranger pass away also?
The
green one did.
Green
Tommy/white. So we're sticking with Voltron, and then here you go, Matt. I saw that you put this in the chats. Here's your mask.
Still Voltron.
Still Voltron?
Oh yeah.
Well, still Voltron.
Man, I saw one of these.
I'll go Voltron
today,
on this one.
I was so close to buying it. It was all loose and beat up and stickers peeling off of it. But man, yeah,
I could never get into Mask. No matter how much it was on, I just could not handle
Exactly.
it.
I just
it
found
was
it.
the toys for this, though. For me, it was really the toys.
Sure.
I didn't care about the cartoon.
Yeah, but the Voltron toys were pretty cool.
Yeah, they were transforming
Easy to
robots.
break.
It was amazing.
Easy to break, but they were cool.
Yes. Very thin plastics for those legs.
Yes.
Yeah, that's funny that he typed that in there, and that was in my pile. So a lot of still Voltrons. Big nasty. Oops, I missed them. Still likes the mask. We got another mask from Thomas. He's actually conflicted a little bit. Let's see, a lot of Voltron. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna, I think, go with Voltron. Yeah,
This is where you pull a green comic book
the
mask.
toys. I think it was the toys. I mean, a lot of those &80s toys had cartoons just to promote the toys.
Oh, that's
So-
how He-Man. He was a toy first, and
Yeah.
so same with what's his name? Wasn't Rama toy first? Wasn't and
Yeah,
there-
I think so.
Transformers was a toy first.
Yeah, GoBots.
Yeah.
You know, GoBots. Yeah.
Dino Riders, Christopher Parker, he says.
All right, I got to pick it up a little bit here. So one more kitty book. We're going to go with Beavis and Butthead #1. These guys always make me laugh. And then one of my other favorites, Bill and Ted. Which
Oh dear
two
Lord!
dumb idiots do you like more?
Man, the Canadian connection. Oh no, sorry, I'm thinking of not Bill and Ted. Never mind.
Yeah, Bill and Ted's Canadian too. Well, I mean,
Oh yeah, Keanu. Yeah, that's
Keanu
right.
Reeves. Yes.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted.
Because
I would say honestly, it depends how many substances I've taken. Because Beavis and Butthead got funnier the more beer I had.
I mean, when that was on when I was in college and there was nothing else to do, so we watched a lot of Beavis and Butthead because it was always on MTV.
Well,
at
also,
this
I
time.
will say that Beavis and Butthead had a lot of metal on it, which at the time I was listening to like crazy. So
I gotta go with Beavis and Butthead.
Okay. Yeah, I like the video they made with Cher for their because their CD that they had. Oh my god, it was so ridiculous.
That actually one I mentioned in the before about how I played acoustic guitar in a couple of like acts like that. One of the ones I did, we actually did "I Got You, Babe" as a joke, so we could go dat in the do the Beavis and Butthead version, right? So
it looks like Beavis and Butthead took the most on that one. Just looking real quick.
I still remember that Red Hot Chili Peppers music video with Beavis and Butthead for
Yeah.
Roller Coaster
Yes.
with the movie and everything. Oh yeah, good stuff.
All right, so now we're gonna switch gears and we're gonna do some scary books. So we got some Gold Key, Boris Karloff, Tales of Mystery.
I have that.
I mean, it's got. I mean, granted, it's a Yeti, but it's still kind of Bigfoot. Bigfoot to me. If you put Bigfoot on a cover, I'm gonna buy it. So got that one, and then on top of that, we got this
Dark Shadows.
Dark Shadows.
Well,
Gold Key. I thought he
The
was
guy who
so
plays
cool.
Barnabas is from Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, but chances are that the snow one is in Canada as well.
Yeah.
Way up north, right?
Actually,
Well
I have
praised,
the book,
very
the
valid.
Himalayas. It is the Himalayas that they go to for that thing.
I love the bats in the background on this too.
So, Boris is a good book. I like that. That's one of the series that I one of the million series I'm trying to get the whole run of. But Dark Shadows I haven't read, so I would like to read that one.
What is he
Okay.
holding in his hand in the Dark Shadows book?
It's his cane, his little wolf cane that he had.
Oh, I thought it was like a small animal, like a gerbil, or
think-
like Lee Van Cleef.
If I remember right,
problem
it
is-
was a sword too, wasn't it?
I don't remember that.
I'd probably go with the Yeti.
Yeah, same. Boris Karloff.
Kind of a classic,
I
right?
mean, no, like that Boris Karloff series is pretty good for 70s horror.
And
Yeah,
you find them in
It's
dollar
a little
bins all the time.
tamer because it's Gold Key, but still, it's a pretty good series.
They had a
Dark
couple-
Shadows, as I said, I haven't read any of them, so I would like to try it.
I mean,
But
I
at
can
the
see
same time,
people.
it was a soap opera more than a horror
Yeah,
book.
it was. And I mean, I could see people picking this if they like vampires and that kind of supernatural thing, but I like monsters, so I would go with this one. And it's
If I
Boris
remember
Karloff.
correctly, Barnabas couldn't leave his room.
I
or
don't
the house.
remember. I know
Like-
they changed it with the reboot a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, so some more. I think that one was Boris Karloff. So now we're gonna go. Let me whip out my man thing. That's bad, I know. So Inventors Interfere with the Man Thing, number 11. I have his other ones around here somewhere, but I just grabbed this one. It's a cool cover. I think this one was actually, it's on the back here. It's first appearance of the Nexus is this issue. And then the other side, this or that, we got Swamp Thing. So Man Thing versus Swamp Thing. Battle of the Ages.
Man Thing every day.
Okay.
I will say the opposite, Swamp Thing every day.
Mm.
But I do own that Man Thing book.
Man Thing, but there are certain Swamp Thing covers I would definitely pick over that Man Thing.
Yeah, I specifically went with the 80s Swamp Thing because I thought it kind of paired up better. If I was going to put a Bernie up here,
Yeah.
people would be like, all day, Bernie, all day. I didn't want to skew it that much. So, yeah, let's see. What do we got? We got Giant Size Man Thing, Swamp Thing, Man Thing. I am seeing more Man Thing.
That's
that cover of
surprising.
Man Thing is so good. Like that is the significantly better. Man Thing's always been such a great anti-hero, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The biggest problem I have with Man Thing, and it's probably because I haven't read a lot of it, is that I feel like he only reacts to the fear thing, and you don't see him doing anything else. Where Swamp Thing actually has an intelligence behind him that is very...
Yeah, he's more of just a beast, whereas he has the,
Yeah, and that appeals to me more. But I mean, again, I could be wrong about Man Thing because I haven't read enough. I think I've only read 5 or 6 of the Man Thing over the years. So,
okay. Yeah, there's a good fair share split here in this one. I would probably go Man Thing just because I'm more familiar with the character, I think. I do like the Swamp Thing movies. Even the second one with Heather Locklear.
It didn't hurt the Swamp Thing that Alan Moore wrote for it.
Yeah.
Did you see the Man Thing movie?
Ooh, yeah. It's
Yeah.
rough.
He was great in that Werewolf by Night. I will admit.
That was
good
cool.
That was fun, but the standalone Man Thing movie, don't watch it.
And honestly, the reason I have that Man Thing book was probably because of that. I won it as a prize on Who Dat gave it away on one of his monthly things, but I went for it because I thought, ooh, I had recently watched Werewolf by Night and thought, ooh, let's give this a try.
All right, so we're going 70s here. 70s cheese. I'm going to call it that. So we got this. I don't know if you might. This is Rom the Space Knight. First a toy, then a comic. Actually coming back. I think Marvel got the rights back to him again. Or that. Shogun Warriors. Like I said, I'm going 70s cheese.
Just because I hated the Shogun Warriors TV show, I'm going Rom.
Bad. I love the toys. I love the toys. I mean, they didn't do much, but
I'm going Rom just because I think Rom had more of a presence.
they had more of story going on. That's for
more
sure.
crossovers and stuff. Yeah.
Same. I agree exactly with what Ryan said. Rom for all those reasons.
Let's see. We got Johnny does not like Rom. He's going Shogun.
It's their third option.
K-pop likes Shogun. I mean, if you like kind of that, I think Japanese kaiju, you're probably going to be drawn to Shogun. Chanko likes Shogun. Cabe Munin. But then Big Nasty likes Rom. Stevie D, what's up? Say hello. Is there? No, there's not, Johnny. There's no third option this time. So yeah, I am going Shogun because it's just nostalgia to me. I was exposed to that because of the toys more than the ROM. I think ROM was a little bit before Shogun Warrior toys, or maybe it was after. It was after, actually, I think. And I think it just
take a look on the books. Take a look on the books.
The price.
Yeah.
We got 35 and 40. So yeah, this was before.
Yeah.
And I don't think the toys were around in the stores very long. I don't know what happened with the.
I don't remember seeing many ROM toys in Canada.
No. Coach said he never cared for either. Yeah, and I figured, Katie, that's why you picked that kaiju. All right, so there's that one. I am going to go street level now. So we got back to superheroes. We got Luke Cage, Power Man. This is his king size annual number 1. I thought it was a very cool cover. This thing is beat up like crazy, but cool cover.
Well read.
Yeah, exactly. And then this, or I don't know how fair this is, you guys, but I'm putting him up against his buddy, Iron Man.
Luke Cage.
Luke Cage. Okay.
He's just so much cooler. And, his motivation is pure. I find Iron Fist confuses me a bit.
Yeah, 100% agree with you, Matt. Definitely Luke Cage all the way. He's a pure guy. He has well intentions. There's no ambiguity with the character.
Yeah. One of my favorite Power Man stories was when he went to collect money from Dr. Doom.
Yeah, that's a good one. I remember
that is one of my favorite Marvel books of all time.
So Matt likes Luke Cage. We got another Luke Cage. Here's an Iron Fist. Richard likes Iron Fist.
I don't know what to pick.
Well, I was thinking you would go with Iron Fist just because of the artist.
I'm leaning that way
and the writer.
And there's Iron Man on there too, and
yeah. Because if I remember right,
I'll throw Iron Fist.
I think this is the Claremont
vote
time,
but I do like that Power Man cover.
Right, so yeah, I think everybody's doing Power Man. Even though Dope says he does beat up Sabretooth, so.
At some point, everybody beats up Sabretooth. I don't think he's a very good fighter in the end.
But in the end of the day, they make up and they fight together, right?
That's odds.
I had to throw that one up. All right, some more street level. We're getting serious now. So we got The Man Without Fear. This was the first appearance of Typhoid Mary, John Romita Jr. I actually bought this for a specific reason at Heroes. Or Frank.
Ooh.
So we got more street level action here.
Punisher for me.
Punisher.
Daredevil, I'm getting a new appreciation for because of the TV show.
Okay.
But I've always loved the Punisher, especially that series. Even in the day when I was buying like 20, 21 DC comics a month, I was buying the Punisher.
Okay, we got a lot of DDs here. And some of it probably is because of the show and all that. But then, there's people that like the Punisher. But it's looking Daredevil overall. Okay. Just trying to hit everybody's comments. I love that you guys are interacting with us on this. This makes it fun. We're almost done, guys. I got 2 more rounds. Well, 3 more. I'll go quick here. So we're going to DC. We got Phantom Stranger. Not necessarily meets Frankenstein, but just Phantom Stranger.
Well, Frankenstein at that time was the backup feature.
Okay. Versus, or that, Spectre.
Oh,
Spectre.
tough.
Spectre for me.
It's kind of cool,
that
eh?
series of Spectre was really good, so I'm going Spectre.
Okay.
Spectre just, I don't know a lot about him, but I every cover I see, I always like it.
The art is very appealing for his
Well,
character.
Neil Adams worked on the Spectre back in the day, like in that series era. Phantom Stranger was all Jim Aparo, so it comes down to who do you prefer?
Yeah.
I really like that cover to Phantom Stranger. Just the contrast of the dress versus the green body and do in the middle. But like that's just such a cool horror cover. But the Spectre cover, don't get me wrong, is also phenomenal, and I do prefer Spectre as a character. But I'm going off a cover alone. I got to give it to Phantom Stranger.
Well, here's the difference that I would say. That Spectre series went 10 issues. That Phantom Stranger series went 41. So you can decide at slightly different times. The Spectre was in the 60s. The Stranger was in the early 70s. But, at the same time, they both have their merits. But if I was to choose, I would choose the Spectre one because I think the 10 issues of Spectre overall were better than the Phantom Stranger.
Well, the art,
but like the Twilight movies made $1 billion too. It doesn't mean it's good. This is me joking around. Guys.
All right, I think the Spectre's taking that one. He's a very interesting character. All right,
Christopher Parker, Neil Adams did the pencils for number 8 as well.
All right, last two are just guilty pleasures. We're gonna solve world's problems right here. So we got this.
No,
whatever the other one is.
Savage Dragon
or that.
Oh no, maybe I'll go back to Youngblood.
Youngblood.
Wow.
You picked one of the only books that I hated more than Youngblood.
Really? Wow.
I don't know if it was because of the time or whatever, but these early Image and Valiant type books, like I had a hard time getting into then. Maybe if I was to reread them now, it'd be a different story. But
Johnny said neither.
Yeah, I'm with Johnny. I'm with Johnny on this. Neither.
Elizard says he'd choose the ferret instead.
Whereas Katie wants them both. We do have some Youngblood love, though. Yeah.
I mean, Gunjasaur had its Youngblood.
Who did Cyberforce? Who was the art
Silvestri.
Silvestri?
Yeah, this is Mark Silvestri.
All right, I'll throw Cyberforce a vote because Silvestri's my dude.
If you have to pick the lesser of evils, is that it?
Empress is voting for
I'm a bigger Silvestri fan than Rob Liefeld.
No, Nate, no.
Matt.
Matt, no. Yeah, funny. Well, I did not know that one was gonna go. Okay, so what was the unanimous? Youngblood, I think, took most of those, which really surprises me. So hopefully I can rectify that with we got this or that.
Wildcats.
Wildcats.
You gotta go with Jim Lee.
I mean, it's Jim Lee. It's Jim Lee all day. So
yeah, all day. Yeah.
Get out
who
of here.
are we? The Wildcats. And who are we going to be? The Wildcats.
Yeah. All right. So I see Wildcats there. And last is the last one. This one's for Nate. Matt, this is for you. It's for 35 cents. And all the guys that like their Alley Cat.
Alley Cat.
Number one. Versus another cat, Nightcat.
Nightcat. Oh, come on. This isn't even.
Gotta go with Nightcat.
I was trying to give her some
for Nate alone. My vote for Nightcat is for Nate.
Nightcat, I bought it and I've read it and I liked it.
Yeah, Nightcat.
I have to get the music.
This one, the art is wow. It's bad, and this was basically an advertisement for this singer, actor, model. I don't know how she talked Image into this, but holy cow. Yeah.
I have a thought, but
yeah, this one I think hands down, Nightcat. We got Coach.
And the funny thing was that Nate actually played some of that Nightcat for us online.
Chanko, I know why you're voting that way, because hashtag Chanko likes hot chicks.
Exactly.
Nightcat. Okay. So, well, that was a lot of books we went through. I probably made it too bloated, you guys, but I thought it was fun to look at.
I'm sure that the other Canadians out there will understand when I say Nightcat makes me think of Lee Aaron.
Yeah, I could see that. Yes. Yeah, that is a very specific Canadian, a bit of hard rock there. Yes.
Well, if you remember the Metal Queen album cover.
Yeah. Music was okay.
All right. Well, thank you guys for playing. I hope you guys had fun with that. Like I said, it's a little longer than I think I wanted to, but I had fun picking out pairs of books to compete against each other. You guys, I'm glad you had fun participating in the chat. We had a lot of good comments, but that's it for this version of
Side Quest Comics presents this or that.
So my
thank you for doing that again.
Around the corner.
Thank you so much for playing that again.
Oh, yep.
I want that as my ringtone.
All right.
Pick up.
Well, now that we're done with the game, we can show some books off. Who wants to jump into showing off books? So basically, we're getting to the section where I like to show off books that, comics that, or merchandise, any kind of, comic related thing that we found in the last month. This episode is going to be 2 months that you found on Wednesdays for Wednesday Warriors, or maybe you went to a show or your local store and found something in the back issues. So I told these guys to come up with about 4 or 5 things, and then just have something that's their top pick type.
I have 6, but it does include a top pick.
Okay.
And one is literally just to show the cover off, and we're done.
Who wants to jump in and start? Matt, do you want to jump in?
I'll jump in.
Okay.
Okay. This is the one I said I'm just going to show off the start. It's a headlight cover because Chanko likes hot chicks.
Chanko likes hot chicks.
It's Love and Romance number 15 by Charlton Comics. So now, the other ones I'm going to show I bought at a comic book shop yesterday. What it is one guy that I know, he does all the shows. He a couple times a month opens up his basement, and he has sales at his place. And yesterday was one of those days. I was going to see him because he does mystery boxes.
Okay.
That I like to give out as prizes. So I went to see him and talk to him about all that. And I got some of these other books. I have a thing for the go-go checks. I don't know why, but I do. It might date up. It might date to the fact that original box of comics had a lot of them.
Okay.
Okay, so here is Star Spangled War Stories 131.
Oh man, look at that. On a pterodactyl.
Yeah. This era of Star Spangled War Stories had a lot of the war against time, they called it.
Okay.
And it was basically, modern warfare against dinosaurs in a lot of these cases. And it was very weird and very fun.
Yeah, I want to start looking for some of those. Dope showed some of those off last Tuesday, I think it was.
Yeah.
Every single cover had a dinosaur fighting.
Exactly. And actually, I thought about that. Dope crossed my mind for that video when I saw this and thought, well, I'm not sure, but it's got go-go checks, so right off the bat.
Walk versus the Empire,
Yeah. And thus, bringing to the next book, this one, I actually was surprised that I didn't have it. It's another go-go checks one, but this is Superman 189. And it surprised me that I didn't have it because I pretty much have every Superman from this era.
Hmm.
But when I went through, I'm like, I don't recognize that book, from the cover. And sure enough, when I checked my list, it was on it for that I needed it. So I picked it up. It said $10 on there, but I did not pay $10.
Yeah, it's a crypto cover too.
Yep. Again, it's pretty cool. And crypto, specifically, this takes place on Krypton.
Okay.
So that's Crypto before he's powered.
Oh.
The next one that I picked up, I've been not on purpose, but buying Brave and the Bold, the third volume, like an issue at a time, because I just happen to like the cover. And it turns out that this one is going to turn into a spec book because I've actually seen it on a list now that I've bought it. This is Brave and the Bold 4.
Oh, yeah.
Supergirl and Lobo. And since Lobo is supposed to be in the Supergirl movie and the Superman movie, and so is Supergirl, this is actually picked up a couple bucks. It's a $5 book now, where it was like I bought this out of the dollar bin.
I think I got it out of the dollar bin too.
And I'm going to call this a spec book right now. But from a reading perspective, I just read number 3 the other day, and there was a panel in there where Supergirl had just rescued Lobo from being executed, and Supergirl asks him, "Why were you up for execution?" He goes, "Well, I refused to pay this parking ticket they gave me." She's like, "Well, who the hell executed you for a parking ticket?" He goes, "Well, I did park on the governor." Because Lobo being Lobo. It was just a great. Now, I'm going to show my best one first.
Okay.
As chronologically it makes sense. I bought this yesterday. Son of Satan is my favorite Marvel character. This is Marvel Spotlight. Son of Satan. This is number 12. So this is his first appearance in the title.
Yeah, that's a great.
And I think it's his first, is his second full appearance and third appearance overall.
Yeah.
So, and I followed it up with number 13.
Okay. I
now only need one, I believe 2 of the Marvel Spotlights for Son of Satan now, and I only need one of the books for the.
They can be kind of hard to track down because a lot of people just didn't take care of him. They didn't like him back then.
No, I know he was not that popular.
No.
He got popular, more popular in the early 80s when he was in the Defenders.
Yeah.
Which is actually how I discovered him. So,
okay.
And those are my books.
All right. You know what? I am going to jump in because I actually have 2 piles. Since I did new releases and old ones, I'll go through them quick, though. I was pretty good and kept it under 20. So I'm going to start with an honorable mention for new pickups. So the first one is this one, Do a Power Bomb.
So good.
This is Daniel Warren Johnson. I missed the whole series for this. So when I came across this trade at my store, and I got it on, I think I got this at Free Comic Book Day. So it was like 20% off. Nice. I snatched it up. I've always wanted to read it. I love his art style and just very different setting. It's wrestling. It's the wrestling world. So I was curious to see what he would do with it. And so far it's been a very good read. So something worth picking up, if there's a sale at your store and you see this in the trades, always
grab it.
I say my number 5 pick is a Batman book, but it's one that makes me feel like a little kid. Giant size Batman. I've been getting these for the part 2 of the Hush story. I've gotten 3, so I got to get 3 more, and I'll have this big old giant, huge. Look at it. I mean, you can't even see me when I open it. So I love these. It's kind of a throwback to when you're a kid. You sit on the floor with this open on it, and look at it. I mean, it's almost as big as my head. So that
makes me think of those DC and Spider-Man treasuries.
Treasuries, yeah. It totally reminds me of the treasuries, which I love too. The bad side of those is how do you store them? They're so big. I mean,
well, I've got a couple treasuries.
they make bags and you can get
Those are-
chipboard, but they're such a pain sometimes.
Yeah, I just use the bags they come in.
Number 4, my 4th pick for new pickups is this one. Now, this one was recommended by Dope. I saw it, I looked at it, and passed on it when it first came out. So I had to track it down after he read it and did a review. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to read this. Summary, they wake up one morning and all the children are adults. So it's kind of like a zombie apocalypse. And it's very weird and different. It's a one shot, so you don't have to worry about picking up an issue 2 or whatever. Very fun, interesting read. Something different, it's very different. Let's see, this one is my number 3, and I actually have 2 covers to show off. Is this one? I fell in love with this one. James Tinian, he's doing this last crazy psycho killer standing type story. So it's kind of an interesting concept of all these different characters. And I had to get this Jenny Friesen variant cover for number 1. It's a thick boy too. So for, what is this, $5? It's like I bought 2 issues. It's so thick. A lot of fun so far. I just hope it doesn't turn into like some of his other series that it's like every other month, every 3 months that he puts it out. This one, let's see. This is my number 2, and I cannot recommend this enough. I took a chance one week, got number 1, loved it. We're taking everybody down with us. So this is, it's part of a Rook spy thriller storyline. It's a world for that the Image is doing, and the whole premise is this little girl. Her father's a supervillain, and some shenanigans happen. People get killed, and she's left alone with these robots that he invented to protect her. So it's like you think James Bond supervillains. It's kind of what it is. So it's very different, very adult, and I love it. Good series. Try that one if you guys haven't. And then my last pick is Supergirl number 1. I had to get this foil art germ. I think the regular one just came in our store a little bit late.
Yeah,
so
I have the regular art germ.
that one's on the list. It's in my pull box still. But yeah, when I found out about the new series, I was excited to, start new with a new series. And I like the direction that they're taking this. They're taking her back to, out of Metropolis to her hometown. Great starting point for anybody that's a Supergirl fan. Because it's so different.
When I heard this series was coming out, if I could, I would have done backflips.
Yeah. And then my number 1 pick for new releases is this one. I am not a huge Daredevil fan, but this story, it's only going to be a 3-parter, blew me away. To see him into the future, he's like 70-ish, somewhere in there. He has no powers. He's depowered. Something has happened in the world where there's this great war, and it's a bleak world. And he finds himself, he's at peace because of his religion, and he let that superhero stuff go. But something happens that he's thrown into a world again where he has to, seek justice for somebody else. Very interesting human stories in this with religion and doing what's right and all that kind of stuff. Artwork's fantastic too. So I can't recommend this highly enough, and I'm not a Daredevil guy. So, But those were my new picks. So who wants to jump in next?
I can.
Derek, you can twist your arm.
Yeah. So I have a couple or 3 new X-Men books and a couple books I grabbed today from the Niagara Falls Comic-Con, which I will have a video out later on this week about. So you can see them first here.
Awesome.
So I got some early X-Men. I got X-Men number 56 here.
Oh, nice.
Filling up my run. Let me just put a better background on here. There we go. So got that. It's actually like I think it's around 4.5 to a 5. I need to get it cleaned. I'm debating actually getting an eraser and starting to work on cleaning my own books, but I'm debating about it. We'll see if it actually happens.
I play with it a little bit myself. It just go gingerly.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, I bought the eraser, never got around to it.
X-Men number 59. So this is apparently, I've yet to really read anything that says that there's truth behind this, but apparently there's a plot assist by Chris Claremont in this book, and this is technically his first X-Men book. I really don't, it's like a rumor. I've yet to actually have it clarified by anybody. And I think it's like a really simple like suggestion, and they call it a plot assist, but anyway, in case there's a little bit of history behind this book, or mystery, I should say. History and mystery. So that's number 59. What I grabbed today at the convention was a Man Thing Volume 2, number 1, newsstand edition. Just at the top there, you'll see it has the date stamp of September 7th, 1979.
That was the first ever Man Thing book I read, and I did like it.
Cool.
I like that series. That was a good series.
Yeah, and I just, any books with, like, if you have a date stamp on your book, like, you won me over. I just love date stamps.
Yeah.
The Star Spangled War Stories I bought has a date stamp. I can't read it fully, but it has the variety store and then the date stamp underneath. So
that's neat.
Yeah, so the date stamp's here, and then the store is actually over here, and it's like the store's kind of cut off. It's Macy's Limited Den. Oh, it's probably Brandon, Manitoba. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. There's a place in Manitoba is a province in Canada, by the way.
The capital is Winnipeg.
But the comic capital is Steinbach.
This is another X-Men book I got. This is Barry Windsor Smith's first work with Marvel. And I did just post this on Instagram recently. I just picked this up like a week or so ago, or 2 weeks ago. His artwork is so dramatically different from what you see in this book, and the pencilist, or sorry, not the author of this book is Arnold Drake, and in here has my favorite line. It's such a sexist book at the same time, because Arnold Drake had a lot of he had a very like angry attitude for the characters. Like everybody was like, their angst levels were much higher during his small tenure. And so I have it here on my phone where Iceman there is pushing Marvel Girl away. I'm going to read this to you. So Marvel Girl says, "Don't give me that nonsense about how you want me to stay safely out of the way." And Iceman responds, "Sometimes I think we made our biggest goof when we gave women the right to vote."
Ooh.
And he's like, "Okay, brain lady, what's this big notion of yours?" And it's like, oh, like there was none of that type of commentary in any of the X books up until that point. And I remember when I first read it, it just like hit me like a hammer. I'm like, wow, I can't believe you, like that was in there. And this is what, 68, I think. So like, come on. But anyway, that was Iceman for you. You can argue it's because Iceman's a teenager, but realistically, it's like,
and he's
all of his characters are like that. It was weird. But lastly, this book I also picked up today. I haven't changed the bags out, got the proper tape yet. But this is Gore Shriek number 1. This is
Wow.
Yeah, a horror book. And this is honestly, I think it probably grades as a 9.8. There's a little bit of a slight dent just along the black corner here, but it's not color breaking. It could be probably pressed out. If M Press is still in chat, he's probably like, "Yeah, I know how to fix that, Derek." This is a book that is known for being Greg Capullo's first published comic book. So he did a story. This is an anthology story. And Greg Capullo, actually, I first was familiar with his work because of the band Iced Earth, and he did the cover to The Dark Saga and Something Wicked This Way Comes. So this was a CD from 1998. But I was a fan of Iced Earth before I really got into collecting comic books. And obviously, Greg Capullo went on and did a lot of other great things. He did X-Force and obviously the Batman. Fun. Thanks, Matt. But yeah, this Gore Shriek number 1. It's a very obviously graphic cover, but It's a
I
black
saw a
cover.
couple other ones from that series today, and I grabbed them, but they did not have that one.
This was the only like really cool book that they did have. Like I can't think of the name of it. It was a Dave Stevens book. It was the one with the Vanguard Illustrated. They had a few copies of those, just for like the non-big name, like non-Marvel DC books. But like the con, I'll mention in the video I have coming out. There wasn't a lot, but this was the big takeaway from the con.
Okay.
Especially for the price. And like I said, it really it's a 9.8 easily. But yeah,
That's a beautiful looking book.
Yeah, I love black and white line art.
We'll zoom in here a little bit more.
Actually, I always thought that black and white line art was the best art for horror.
Yeah, it has
I think so too.
Nice feel to it,
Yeah.
So those are my 5 books.
All right, very good. Ryan, what
Very
you got?
So I haven't, like I said, been buying a lot lately. So I got a few things here and there.
Okay.
I got 5 books and another item.
Okay.
So I finally picked up a copy of this. I always wanted this book. Never had it.
Glow in the dark cover.
Glow in the dark, little 90s goodness, and also just a really cool cover, I think.
Yeah.
Shout out to Richard Westfall. He sent me an AOK, and he sent me X-Men 2099 signed by Ron Lim.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
So
very cool.
Big
Mean
shout out
Streak's
and
the guy on
thanks
the cover,
to.
right?
Sorry.
I'm just like it was Mean Streak and
Metalhead.
Yeah.
I don't really know them all.
That series got really weird by the end.
This guy's Bloodhawk, I believe.
Bloodhawk.
Yeah. So
Good stuff.
nice. And yeah, thank you to Richard Westfall.
Cool.
So Tyler Kirkham just recently did an homage series of covers homaging the Jim Lee Danger Room cards, and did a cover for each thing. So picked up the Virgin variant on this one. Nightcrawler, very cool. There's actually a real lack of like really great Nightcrawler covers. I mean, there's a few, but it's nice to see this one. And then, of course, I had to get that one with my guy.
Very
on it.
nice.
Very cool. And then this is a book I just saw it on the rack at my LCS when I was picking up some books a few weeks ago, and I was like, that is awesome. And that is...
Oh, yeah, that's a great cover.
I mean, the old school trade dress, but then, like, look at Doom. Doom's so kick-ass.
Such detail.
Yeah. Amazing. I was just like, holy... Had to get it.
That's a cool band.
So then, my last item, I got to go off camera for a second. I'll be right back.
Oh boy,
he's gonna put it on. Oh, what's happening?
He's doing a costume change.
Meanwhile, at the Colossus Collector's Place.
That was a fun game.
Eric, that was a fun game.
Thank you. I'm glad you had fun with it. When I came up with that, I was yes.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh. I so need that.
It's awesome.
So I can put it next to my Magneto helmet. Full helmet
around your head. Wow.
It actually gets on my big head.
That is awesome.
That is an amazing Kristoff mask.
Wow, that is so cool. Yeah, that's on my list of things to get.
That is really awesome.
It's from Sideshow. It also comes with this like stand, so I can.
Yeah, that looks like a lot like the Magneto one.
Yeah, probably.
And it's not that expensive. I know in America it's $100.
Yeah, it was like something like that. Yeah, Sideshow, and that's my top item, by the way.
That's
definitely my top.
That was awesome. Yeah, I need to get that. I think I remember seeing when it was first coming out. I was like, oh my gosh, I need that. All right, I am gonna wrap it up with my Quest pickups, and these are kind of just random stuff. I picked this one up at my local store. Somebody came in and traded a box full of these old toys from the 90s, and I was like, I gotta get a Wolverine with the backpack. Let me see if I can get it to. Batteries might have
I hope he
died.
does actually say, just press my buttons and hear it for yourself, bub.
Well, he says, take your best shot. I got claws. I can use them. And then it makes the claw sound. So it may have finally died because I was pressing it like crazy when I bought it. But, yeah, I had to get it. I mean, I'm a sucker for a Wolverine figure and still in the box. Not mint, but I'm like, it's still sealed. So kind of a neat pickup. I got this thing today. Matt, you like this one. It is the Best of DC Blue Ribbon Digest.
I love those.
So I found, it's a Killer Superman versus Kryptonite. And what sold me on this little thing was the back with that Kryptonite handbook. I thought that was so cool.
My father bought those. They sold them at like the supermarket, like they sold the Archie Digest.
Yeah, right next to the old
Dad would
Archie.
buy those, a lot of them, and we had a ton of them.
Yeah, there was a dealer at the show I went to. He had a ton of these little books like this. So
I love the cover for that, but like it looks like Superman has wet himself. I love the idea of it, but the first thing I notice is that Superman peed.
You ain't cool unless you pee your pants.
Peeing your pants is cool. Call me Clark Kent.
You'd have to think that Batman smells like urine and sweat.
Matt, you'll like this one. I got this one. When I found out that Jenny Friesen was doing some variant covers for the Buffy, I tracked this one down. This is Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel #1 from 2025, so it's recent. It's a 1 in 25 cover. I love the fire is the only color on that, and it's a different layout for her. Usually she does the face-on view, so the side profile like that I thought was really cool.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that the Buffy's coming back.
I know.
I actually like the concept.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping, because apparently he's supposed to, I'm hoping Spike comes back. And it looks like he is coming back. David Boreanaz is not coming back.
No, he's too busy doing other stuff, I think.
Well, that and also his money demands was too high.
Yeah.
But the rumor is now that Willow might be joining the show.
Which I could see.
Yeah.
So we got number 13, Tomb of Dracula. This was one of my goals for this year was to finish this run. This is second to last. I have the last one waiting for me in Dope's hands. So when I see Dope in 3 weeks, he will give me the last issue I needed for Tomb of Dracula. This one in particular is the origin of Blade. Cool cover.
Nice.
And then I can move on to the next 70s monster, which will probably be Werewolf by Night. I do know, anybody that knows me knows I love Conan. I have never seen this. It's like a magazine size in full color Savage Sword of Conan Marvel Super Special. So this is like a one-off, I guess they did, with a bunch of new stories in color. So this might have been the first time they did it in color outside of the regular comic series. But look at, yeah.
Great cover.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So I couldn't pass this up. And I think, what did I get this for? The guy was having a sale. I got it for $5. And it's really good shape. I think he had a lot of these magazines. He was done toting them around. Next up, I have, this is an ongoing quest for me, is Aquaman, the original volume.
Yes.
Today, I found this one, number 4. There it goes.
Wow.
So, I mean, it was in really good shape. Once again, the guy was having a sale, so I got it for half price.
That's impressive, because those, Aquaman 1 to 8, 1 to 9, 1 to 10. They're also hard to find.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't hold back.
Nice.
Number 7. This one. These were a little bit cheaper, and this one I love. Number 9. Yeah, with King Neptune. This one I think was only like $6. It looks better than it is, but
Nick Cardy did the majority of those covers, right? If
yeah,
not
he
all
did
of them.
for I know Neil did some, but he only did a couple oddballs.
Yeah,
here
well,
and there.
the biggest Neil Adams Aquaman cover that I remember is actually a Jimmy Olsen book
Okay.
where Superman is being a dick again and he's holding up a glass of water saying,
Yeah.
now which one of you gets it, Jimmy or Aquaman? I actually had Neil Adams sign that book.
Didn't Neil Adams do that awesome Manta cover where
Black Manta, where he's holding them up?
Yeah, and the trade dress is like I don't know, rock or something.
That's why I said Cardi did most of the covers, but I don't think he did them all. That sounds like
Matt, you like this one
best Aquaman cover I've ever seen.
This one I used your what was it? It was your last giveaway prize that I've had forever. So I got this one.
Nice.
So it's a Canadian price variant of Amazing Spider-Man. First Hobgoblin.
Nice.
That this is my main book that's going to Heroes Con with me, and JR is going to sign this one for me. So awesome. This was the main book, and most of the other stuff I got are like X-Men books he did. So I'm like, I got to get something that's not X-Men. So yeah, this was a big one for me. And then Ryan, you'll like this one because our friend Cheddar had this one, Weapon X.
Oh, nice.
The Japanese edition. So it has the Obi strip on it. I flipped through it. It's all that graphic novel of Weapon X that they have out, but it's just Japanese. It's the same artwork and everything. It's neat to see it treated a little bit different. But it's like I flipped through it and I know the story.
It's like the Barry Windsor Smith Marvel Comics Presents stuff.
Yeah. It's his origin story. So that was a cool pickup. Oh boy, here also from Cheddar was this something he showed that I didn't know I needed.
I love that.
They did the Hulk for this. They did what else did they do? I think they did the Avengers. No, Spider-Man. They did.
That's the one he said he had. There were some missing ones. Or
this
something?
One's missing one. Yeah. It's missing this one right here.
Mm.
But that's not why I got it. I got it for. I think you know that one. That is just phenomenal artwork.
Wow.
I need to get a frame for that and the other ones, of course. I'll show you the other ones real quick. There's a Danger Room one.
That one's awesome. I love that.
Look at Angel go.
Yeah, as I say, there's your Angel. And then we got, of course, you got to have Phoenix Jean Grey.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, yeah, these are pretty cool. 1983. And then my last one. My number one pickup for the last 2 months. I am a huge art. Art is the thing for me for comics. That's what draws me in. I don't care if the story's bad or good. If it's got good art, I'm probably going to pick it up. And this was an artist. I got an art book by an artist that was very, influenced me as an artist, influenced my taste really in comics. But I got this big bad boy, Frank Frazetta. Hardcover art book. So it's his kids that are in charge of doing all this. They're putting out a series of This is Terror. They're gonna do his sci-fi collection and fantasy collection. So 3 different books of his. And I mean, I've been wanting to get more books that are like this, where I could rip this out and frame it as art. It's basically, this is an art book. I mean, with this fantastic art that he did. Look at that.
Surprised they didn't I get why they didn't do images on both sides, but it's just.
I mean, it's really thick too. So I'm wondering if that's what the intent is. If you really wanted to, this way, that you can do that. Tear it out, frame it.
Awesome.
Dracula and a werewolf there. So I'm really excited to see the other ones. the fantasy ones. So we'll probably see some Conan and stuff. And the sci-fi one would be cool too, because it's sci-fi from that time period.
Wow.
Yeah, these are all from different, like, eerie, creepy, that kind of, those old horror magazines. But, sometimes some of those are really pricey. To find it collected in a book like this is it's really nice. Now, here's some vertical ones, horizontal
Wait
ones.
for his museum to show up around here too, because I know they've had like a mobile museum of his work, and it's yet to come to Canada as far as I know.
Yeah. And then it's got some story or some articles in there that they wrote up about him. The foreword's by his grandson. So it's very neat for the collection. For getting into like big art books, tabletop coffee books, this was a real cool one. I do want to get more. I have a Alex Ross one that's almost this size in height and width that, I just need to make room for it on the coffee table. So, but that's it for my my haul for the last 2 months, really. Let me see. I got to press this one. And then I'm going to switch over here. Did you guys have anything else that you wanted to show? I'll open it up to the floor to you guys if you had any last minute things you wanted to show off. I always tend to show a lot because I can't help myself.
Not really. No, I only pulled the 5. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was only prepared for that.
Okay, that's fine. Like I said, I always go overboard. I can't help myself.
I can show you my copy of the Unbelievably Bad Superheroes there. You FOMO'd me into getting.
Let's see. We're pushing 2 hours, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up, I guess. I'm going to let you guys kind of promote any videos or events or anything coming up that you're either publishing or maybe you're going to a con that you want to get the word out and do some meetups and stuff like that. Ryan, I'm going to start with you since you're right next to me.
Nothing immediately coming up on the channel, but if you'd like to watch some previously released content, just had huge stream with a bunch of guys on Friday. We were talking about Heroes Con. We had a really fun hangout and a lot of fun. I think it's a good watch. And prior to that, I did a show all on Colossus. First time I ever did a whole thing just on my favorite character. Had a few great guys join me with that too. So both good watches. Stay tuned. I'm going to Heroes in 3 weeks, and there will be stuff coming out from that, so that'll be a lot of fun. And there might be something that pops up on the channel in the next couple weeks if I could get my crap together. But it'll just keep an eye out. Subscribe.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that Heroes thing.
Yeah, if you guys missed it, go check it out.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. There's some.
I was on Biggie Shack channel. And then when I finished, I caught the rest of it, and you guys look like. Honestly, I'm a little jealous. You guys got this huge group.
Well, that's how we all felt about them at Terrificon last year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But I think are you not the only Canadian in that group?
In that group, yeah, I was the only Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see a lot of Canadians in general going to Heroes Con. I think a lot of us are avoiding the U.S. dollar-wise right now.
I know Comic Ozzy's going, if you know him. But other than that, I don't know if anybody else from Canada is going. But
Derek, what do you got coming up? I know you just released a really cool unslabbing video.
Yeah, my wife helped me make that one too. So yeah, I just released an unslabbing video of how I unslabbed my X-Men number 64. And I have a video. Niagara Falls Comic-Con was today. I've already finished the video for that, but I'm waiting for the weekend to be over before I get that video out. So probably later on this week, you'll see another video out for me about my review of the Niagara Falls Comic-Con. And I'm working on a follow-up on my CGC auction video. I have another video loosely about that in the works. I've recorded the audio for it, so now I just gotta sit down and make the video all work for it. So that's gonna be probably another month or so before that pops out.
Okay.
But yeah, lots of
Busy,
content from Uncanny Derek.
Matt,
Yeah,
what
I
do you got
watched,
coming up?
I watched your unslabbing video. Very nice.
Thank you.
You know, I only got one slab. I don't buy slabs. I buy everything raw because I like to read everything I get. But if I was to do that, I would be watching that video. I found it very, very informative.
Thank you
So
so
if
much.
you haven't seen it out there, people, watch that video. Now, for myself, today I whipped off a quick video explaining that my next giveaway. I recently had my 1 year anniversary last week, and I decided somebody made it didn't occur to me. I don't know why, but it didn't occur to me to do one. But someone commented, "Is there going to be a giveaway?" And I said, "You know what? I'm close to 600 subs, and I've just finished 1 year. So when I hit 600 subs, and at the rate I'm going, hopefully that'll be about a week. I'm going to do a big giveaway where I give away 5 different prizes. So
Make sure you stay tuned.
I've already got most of it together. That's what I spent most of yesterday doing, was getting this stuff together in order to make the quick video today to make sure that I had everything lined up. So check out my channel if you want to take a look. I as of this moment, I checked just before I spoke. I'm 15 away from that 600.
So close.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure I'll
you
do
guys
it.
aren't subbed to Matt. Go sub them up.
You know,
Get a shot
so
at that.
once we do that, I will have a video come out that I'm going to use as the comment on this video, and you'll have a chance to win, kind of thing. Also on Tuesday, I have Thomas O'Donnell coming on my live stream.
Okay.
On Tuesday night. Wednesday, we're doing the Biggie Shack show for the book club that we always do the book reviews. I'm on that with Alan, the comic collector geek, and TM Nerdy. I'm not sure if people are familiar with him. He's another good guy. But I mean, I do a lot on YouTube because what I do is I do nothing for a week, and then I do 5 videos in a day, and then I've got 2 weeks worth.
I like that you do theme stuff too. You do a lot of challenges that Alan throws out there.
I'm a big fan of the challenges. That's why, and I want to encourage people to do them.
It's good ideas.
To be honest, sometimes the challenge is my idea. Like we'll brainstorm, and because sometimes he's like, I'm not sure what to do this week, and I'll say, well, we haven't done this. Okay, let's do that.
That's,
kind of thing.
That's the comic community, right?
Yeah, and he also tells, like, as I said, I get it a day or two in advance so that I have a chance to film one and be ready, because like once the weekend hits, I'm not in YouTube mode. I'm in dad mode, and that's just But I do the Sunday Superman show will be back next week.
Okay.
I haven't determined who's going to be on it or what it's going to be about yet. So as I say to everybody, if you want to be on that show, just give me an IG DM and we can talk about it, because that's how I got Cliff on a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah. All right.
He told me he wanted to be on. So
don't think I got anything out of the ordinary other than Tuesday nights with the guys, the FOMO squad, Nate, Hagen, and Dope. We kind of just show off our weird stuff and make each other want to buy it, which
I don't know how much money I've spent because of you, Mike.
And then my usual videos drop on Monday. I think next week is going to be the con that I went to today, but I also have been trying to record ahead of time, so I got a bunch of unboxings that I've recorded, so we'll see where it is. I'm in the middle of changing over my computer setup. This is still the old one. The new one's still in the box. I haven't had time to sit down and set it up, so I may be changing studios. I don't know. It depends on timing and stuff like that. So for me, it's going to be kind of the same old weekly videos, whether it's halls or shows and stuff like that out and about. But other than that, it's looking forward to Heroes Con in 3 weeks. That I got a new phone purposely because I'm gonna need the room for filming, and I got the new computer systems, a laptop, so I have some stuff in plan and in the works of doing live stuff while we're there, doing like daily type of stuff, and we got a lot of things planned for Heroes Con. I think with all of us that are going, there's going to be plenty of coverage for people. You can live through us vicariously.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. I think it's gonna take a month of watching just to watch all the heroes going in.
I know, right?
I mean, you've got YouTube.
Yeah. But as a reminder, everybody, please smash that button, like, subscribe, comment. We like, even after, if you're missing us, catching it late, Justin, comment down below what you thought of the books, the game we played. If you're not subscribed to any of these guys, I have the links in the show notes, so you can just click on it, go to their channels, hit that like, subscribe, follow. Make sure you do that for people that are giving giveaways like Matt. And also, a lot of us are on Instagram, so head over to Instagram and you can, DM us there, interact with the community. That's the main thing I like about this comic hobby, is just the interaction with not just like-minded content creators, but just other people out there that are in the chats, hanging out and just having fun. So, but that's going to be it tonight, you guys, for the Sunday Super Show Off show. Thank you guys, for joining me tonight and being my guests. I really appreciate you guys coming in on a Sunday night. Some of us have to get up tomorrow and go to work and start the week all over again. We don't have it off. But yeah, that's it for tonight. Let me get to my buttons, and we will talk to you guys next time. And while you're out there, happy questing, and we'll talk to you next time.
So long. Goodbye.